In this lecture, we'll train HTML and CSS. We will create great container for our to-dos, and we will center it in the middle of our screens. Hey guys, welcome back. In this lecture, I explain you data and methods in Vue components. In this lecture, we'll continue and we'll start creating some styling and elements for our actual to-do application. Let's start. Open your coding editors, and first, actually, let's see terminals, because you should see there are a couple of warnings. And you can see here error, unexpected console statements. As I told you, ESLint is complaining about that we are using console logs. So what we can do, actually, we can copy this no console log here, this message here. So no console, and we'll make exception to this rule. So let's copy this no console. Let's go back to our coding editors. You can navigate to package.json. Let's see here ESLint config, and let's see here rules. I will write here a new line. Let's access here double quotes. All right, no console. Let's paste here, and let's say here false. All right, let's save this now. Let's see terminal. Let's go down here, and now we shouldn't display this error, or maybe we need to restart our application. So I will clear this out. So shut this down. So Control or Command C, clear this out, and run here again npm run serve, and let's wait a couple of seconds. Alright, let's see what I did wrong here, and there should be one of the following: 0 for off, warning, error. Okay, so we should display there actually 0 or off. My mistake. Let's go back, and for a false, it will display only 0. Okay, so let's save this. Let's go back, shut this down, and npm run serve, and now it should work without any problems, and we shouldn't display any errors anymore. Alright, perfect. Let's go back to our coding editors. Let's see our app component, and what I will do here, I will remove all of this data inside of a div. Alright, let's remove all of our data here. We can just return empty object maybe for now, or maybe we don't need to return anything. And actually, let's remove this whole data. We don't need it here. We will create a new one when we need it. Alright, and also we can remove these methods. Perfect, and let's start with a little bit of styling. So what I want to do here, I want to create here a container element for all of our to-dos. Alright, so I will create here a div. And let's say this will be our to-do container or a post container. Let's say to-do container. So class will be to-do-container. Now I can target this class in my SCSS, so in my stylings here. I'll make here some more space for you. And you can target your class by writing dot and the name of your class, so our to-do-container. And I will say here that width of this container will be, let's say, 400 pixels. Alright, like this, semicolon here. And the min height, so min-height of this container will be 400 pixels. And let's say background color, so background dash color will be, and I already search up this color before, so this will be ED, like this. Alright, so this will be slightly grayish color. When we will save this, let's go to our browsers, and let's see, now we should display here a container after refresh, so you can see this gray container. I would like to style it in the middle of our page. So how can we do it? Let's go back to our coding editors, and let's provide here margin, and I will say here that I want to have a margin on the bottom and the top of the 0, and on the left, on the right, auto, like this. And this will automatically style my element in the middle of the screen. But there is one condition you must meet. You need to specify width of your element in order to automatically center your element. Let's go back to our browsers. Now you will see that your container is in the middle. If you're not very familiar with HTML or CSS, you can always inspect your page. So you can right click here and inspect, because I will be not talking much about HTML and CSS. This is not the scope of this course. But you can always just right click here and inspect, click on this cursor here, and you can select your element. So for example, here we can see to-do container class. This is a div. So this is just a container element. So there's a wrapper element here. You can imagine it as a box element. All right. So to do container, when I will make this up here, you should see here also stylings. So for example, to do container, here you can see applied styling. So to do container class, and I'm applying here margin 0 and an auto width of 400 pixels, min height of 400 pixels, and a color, background color of this color here. When I will click on this color, I can of course change it. You will see it will be changed. I will be changing it here. All right. I can also change some other stuff. For example, I can increase here width, so I can increase the width, or I can decrease this width. So I can say it will be 300 and some other pixels. I can change here min height. All right, like this, it will be changed, and so on. So you can play with this, and you can try to understand what's happening here. So you can see margin 0 auto. When I will remove this, this will be on the left side. When I will place the stylings, this is in the middle. But this needs to have a width. All right, when I will remove this width, you will see it's not anymore styled in the center, and it's taking 100 width of our page. Okay, so there's a default behavior of a block element. It's taking 100% of the width. You can see I can remove from here margin width, and this width is taking 100%. Then I will specify here actual width. Now it's styled with the width I specified here. All right, margin 0 auto, so it's in the middle. I will show you a different way how you can style your element in the middle of the screen. When you will refresh this, of course, these changes will be back, because these changes are applied only in our current browser window. When we will refresh this page, we are getting stylings back from our component. All right, so let's wrap this actually instead of another div, and I will show you how you can use flex. So let's write here div, and I will wrap my div to the container instead of another div, like this. You can select this, and let's press here tab to indent it on the right side. And I will specify here new class, and let's say this class will be Todo wrapper, like this. And now I can specify here stylings for Todo wrapper. So let's go down here, and I will write here, actually I will write it up here. So Todo dash wrapper. I will remove from here margin 0 auto, because I don't want to center it in this class, but I want to center it in my parent class of a Todo wrapper. All right, and I will write here display flex. Okay, so this is a flex styling, flexible styling, and I can write here justify content. So justify content, and this is center. And I will say that this Todo wrapper will take 100% of a width. So width will be 100%. Okay, so what is happening now? Let's see it. Let's go back to our browsers. You can see your element is still in the center. When you will inspect this, you will see that our Todo wrapper here, you can see this blue part here, it's taking 100% of the width of our page. In Todo wrapper, I said that I would like to justify content to a center, so anything inside of this wrapper will be centered. Justify content means anything inside of this wrapper will be in a center. But in order to work this justify content, you need to apply flex. Or actually, you don't need to. It's applied automatically. All right, let's see this. It's very interesting right now. Why I am oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't notice that we have here also other classes for our flex here. So when I remove this, you can see now I'm not applying here a center for this div. When I will click here justify content, I'm still not applying this center, but I need to provide flex and a justify content together in order to style it in the middle. All right, let's go back, and I will write you a few comments for you. All right, let's see our flex styling. So this is just a flex styling. You just need to know that it's a flex styling or flexible styling. And the justify content will center your element. So this defines alignment. So it defines alignment along main axis. So along the main axis. In a flex stylings, main axis is always your horizontal axis. Okay, so this means justify content will center elements in comparing with the horizontal axis. That's why it's center horizontally in a center. But you can also change here flex direction. So when I will say here flex direction, so you can change flex direction, and this will be column. So now will be centered around vertical axis. So let's write here column like this. Now it will be centered differently because, as I told you, this defines alignment along the main axis. But now I change this main axis to a column, so this will be my vertical axis. Let's save this. And you will see now it's no longer centered inside of my horizontal axis, but in my vertical axis. You will see it better when I will increase height of this page. So let's go back to our coding editors. And I will say here my post wrap or to-do wrapper has a height, let's say 2000 pixels, and you will see now it's centered in comparison with vertical axis. Let's save this. Let's go back to our browsers. Now you see it's a middle of a vertical axis because my page has a 2000 pixels now height, and I'm centering it in the middle of vertical axis. Okay, so let's go back. One more time, justify content defines alignment along the main axis. The main axis with a flex is a horizontal, but you can change this default behavior by flex direction. You will say here column, and now you're changing flex direction from a horizontal to vertical. So justify content will align it along vertical axis. Alright, so I will comment this out, and I will comment also flex direction. Alright, so you can use it maybe later. And I'm sorry when I'm talking much about CSS, but I would like to explain you everything we are working on in this application. If you are still not clear, if something, maybe some HTML, maybe some stylings are not very clear to you, you just need to study it. It comes with the time. It's not just popping out in your mind just like this. You just need to try it by yourself, create your own application, see some examples. I can include some resources for you in the resources of this lecture and so on. But it's just about the matter of practice. So guys, that should be it for this lecture, and I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers guys.